Evening, everyone, from Riverfront Stadium in Cincinnati. Welcome to Phillies baseball. Tonight, the Phils open a series with the Cincinnati Reds. Going for the Phils, Jeff Juden, and he will be opposed by John Smiley for Cincinnati. Harry Callis along with Rich Ashburn and Chris Wheeler on a muggy night here at Riverfront Stadium. And Whitey, it looked like the Phillies had pulled one out last night. A 3-run home run in the 8th inning by Mark Whitten, who has to have legitimate power coming over from the Red Sox for Dave Hollins. It was in this park that he hit 4 homers in a game.
Well, he does have a lot of power. When he was with the Cardinals, here's the ball he hit last night. He gave it a little ballet-like flourish at the end, but it reached those bleachers. And what was surprising to me about that, Harry, was that Smoltz was throwing the fastball right by him and then kind of dumped up that breaking ball that Whitten hit out of the park. And I think the Phillies are hoping, hey, where's this guy been for a couple of years? Nobody seems to know for sure, but they're hoping, he's only 27, that he can come back and recapture what he had a couple of years ago with the Cardinals.
Mark Whitten will be in the lineup tonight. The last time we were here, Wheels, Cincinnati fans were saying, will this team ever win? Well, yeah, they'll win. They've won a lot.
Yeah, they won a lot. That's right. I remember that it was 0-6, and they were going to fire Davey Johnson, the paper, second guessing Bowden for the players. And you know, we kept thinking, boy, they got a lot of good players here. They're going to win sooner or later. There's the way they started the season. Now they have the best record in the league. Yeah, they're even better than the Atlanta Braves. They're blowing their own division away. Second best in the major leagues behind the Indians, who are just up the road on Route 75. And a lot of people in this area think, well, wouldn't it be great to have a World Series where you go from Cleveland, Cincinnati, Cincinnati to Cleveland? And that would be 2 pretty good teams in a World Series.
Jeff Juden's only major league win coming against this Reds team. John Smiley going for his 11th win this year. We'll be back with the starting lineups right after these messages.
Phillies baseball is brought to you by Beechwood Aged Budweiser. It's always been true. This Bud's for you. The Yellow Pages.
Back at Riverfront Stadium in Cincinnati, where we had showers before the game, so the start of the game is going to be delayed. The ground crew just now taking off the canvas covering the bullpen areas where the pitchers will warm up. Jeff Juden for the Phils and John Smiley for Cincinnati. So it'll be at least 20 minutes before we can start the game as a result of the rains we had here earlier. It has stopped raining right now. Overcast skies. Supposed to be showers in the area the entire weekend, so hopefully we'll have no problems in getting 3 games in here. But they're supposed to get a lot of rains over the weekend, and it did rain fairly hard here for a while. Now it's almost completely stopped. But the starting pitchers have not started their warm-up tosses, so this game at the outset will be delayed because of the rains. Phillies struggling through this trip of just one game out of 6 so far in the weekend here in Cincinnati. The Phillies coming into play 9 games behind Atlanta and 4.5 ahead of Montreal. Those Cincinnati Reds have a 5-game lead over Houston in their division, the Central Division, and 12 over Chicago, and followed by Pittsburgh and St. Louis, as you see. So the Reds have really been playing good ball. They have the best winning percentage in the National League, just slightly ahead of the Atlanta Braves.
Yeah, a lot of people in this state are happy, as we talked about in the opening, that they're playing so well. And of course the Cleveland Indians are a runaway winner in their division, and you know, they're thinking, well, you never know, maybe down the line we could actually play each other. Wouldn't that be neat? The I-75 series here in the state of Ohio. They're the division leaders, and you see Cincinnati with a 5-game lead over Houston without Jeff Bagwell, and there's the wild card race as it stands at this time. But Cincinnati Reds are a strange team in that they have great power, second in the league in homers only to the Rockies, who play in that bandbox, and they lead the league in stolen bases. So rarely do you find a team that has both home run power the way this team does, and stolen bases. Their question mark is their starting pitching. They went out and got David Wells. They went out and got Portugal after Rijo went down. They've got 21 wins out of Shurik and Smiley, which has to be a surprise for them. And that's what they're looking at right now, is whether or not their pitching is good enough to take them all the way this year. Certainly their offense and their defense are.
Well, and the acquisitions of David Wells certainly going to help. Portugal has not pitched all that well for him. He'll be pitching here tomorrow night. He has not pitched all that well, but David Wells was Detroit's best pitcher, and he had a good start in his first outing in the National League for Cincinnati, so he certainly is going to help.
Yeah, he was a guy that when he first came up with Toronto, and we used to see David Wells a lot in spring training, you know, he was a hard throwing left-hander, kind of a wild guy, looked like a biker. You know, in fact, he loves those motorcycles, and you know, kind of with a big old belly on him and stuff like that. But this guy has always been a quality pitcher, and the Reds are pretty fortunate to have him. In fact, Whitey was telling us that Sparky Anderson told him up the Hall of Fame game on Monday, boy, I got a good one right now in David Wells. He's pitching great, and about an hour later they traded him.
Yeah, Sparky was unaware that he was no longer had the big left-hander, David Wells, on his side. Well, the ground crew taking the canvas off. Pitchers will be taking their warm-up tosses here shortly. Game 1 of this 3-game series. Cincinnati Reds owner, hard shot of the Cincinnati dugout.
That's David Wells, Harry. He looks different without that mustache, and his hair's a lot shorter, because when you come here to Cincinnati, you must comply with the no facial hair and a lot shorter hair regulations. So guys always look different when they put on a Reds uniform. You think Santiago, Bo Diaz when he came over. I mean, that's hard to believe that's Wells.
They back a lot of years to that policy of no facial hair and not real long hair. I don't know when they started that, but it was quite a few years ago, before Marge became one.
Oh, well, when they had Wagner and who's it?
Bob Housen.
Bob Housen. They used to call him Nixon and Haldeman when they were here, because of the way this place was run. It was run like Fort Knox.
Well, the Phils will finish this series at Cincinnati, then be home for a homestand. The good thing for the Phils is that most of the month of August, the Phillies will be at home. Be a 3-game series in Houston. Then at the end of August, the Phillies will go on a West Coast trip, but for the most part, playing most games at home.
Yeah, and they've been away so much. This trip has been difficult, not only in wins and losses, but you know, it's been a tough trip. There's a lot, and the homestand before that, even though they played well, they've been playing in this intense heat almost every day, no matter where you go. So you know, they feel they should be 3-3. You know, if, and you know, that's what sports are. You can't make excuses, but when you take 2 leads into the 9th inning, and Slocum's done such a good job for you this year, you think, hey, could very easily be 3-3 on this trip and still feeling pretty good about things. But they're 1-5 coming in here to face the best team in the National League right now, the Cincinnati Reds.
And John Smiley is walking out toward the bullpen area. He will start his warm-up tosses here. Don Gullett, the pitching coach, will look on, and Smiley is 1-10, lost 1. His ERA is 3.38. He has a win on a no decision against the Phillies. He beat Michael Mims at Veterans Stadium 12-3 and had a no decision. In his last outing, he beat the Dodgers at Los Angeles 3-2. He'll be vying to tie his teammate and a couple of others for the league lead in wins, although Greg Maddux, who has 11 wins, will be pitching tonight at Montreal.
Yeah, well, Maddux doesn't lose very often, that's for sure, and neither does John Smiley. The other guy that's done such a great job is Shurik. I mean, Pete Shurik, who we'll see on Sunday. When you look at the league leader categories in pitching, Shurik's up in a lot of them. Smiley's up in fewest walks and, of course, wins. But Shurik and Smiley, 2 left-handers, have won 21 games for this team. And that's really remarkable. Not so much for Smiley, who was, you know, tied for the league lead in wins in this league a few years ago with Tom Glavine, but for Pete Shurik, who anybody could have had a few seasons ago from New York.
Smiley's win over the Dodgers in his last outing at Los Angeles was his career 100th win. He's won 100 ball games and lost 71. And he's posted some real good numbers. As Wheels mentioned, at Pittsburgh in '91, he was a 20-game winner, 20-8, tied for the league lead in wins.
I think the difference in him, we saw him pitch a game in spring training, and the first thing we noticed was he was throwing his fastball so much more. You know, he used to throw the changeup a lot, and you always thought, gee, this guy has a pretty good fastball. Why didn't he throw it more? Well, he seems to have done that for whatever reason. You know, he had elbow problems. Maybe he's healthier than he's ever been. But when you watch Smiley pitch now, he throws his fastball a lot, uses his changeup often, and he's always had a good breaking ball, too. So, I mean, I just don't think it's any surprise that John Smiley's a quality pitcher in this league. He's always had that kind of ability, and he's having one of those years with a very good team.
He was supposed to start last night's game against the Mets, a series which the Reds swept, but he was pushed back a day because of a stomach virus, and they started Dave Burba. Another recent acquisition to bolster their pitching. Dave Burba pitched well in the starting role. Jeff Juden has pitched a lot of games against Cincinnati. He's only pitched 13 major league games, and 5 of them have been against Cincinnati. His major league debut while in a Houston uniform was made right here at Riverfront in 1991 in his first outing for the Phillies. When he came over to the Phils was also right here at Riverfront Stadium. His lone win was against Cincinnati at Veterans Stadium by a score of 3-1. He came over to the Phils along with Doug Jones in December of '93 in the deal that sent the Wild Thing, Mitchie Poo, Mitch Williams, to Houston. #1 draft pick of the Houston Astros initially in '89. He was the 12th player picked. Big guy, 6'8", 265 out of Salem, Massachusetts.
And another one of those guys who has a great opportunity right now with this team. Bobby Munoz is injured again, and they're evidently going to make a decision on him when the Phillies get back to town. But you know, it doesn't look real great for Munoz. Tommy Green is back here. You know, it's been well documented how many injuries this team has had this year, especially in the pitching staff, and that really started right out of the chute in spring training.
Not only is Tommy Green back, but he will be pitching tomorrow night against Mark Portugal in game 2 of this series, and on Sunday Sid Fernandez goes against Pete Shurik. So Jeff Juden with an opportunity to work his way into the starting rotation. Hopefully the rains have passed us for tonight, as the pitchers are taking their warm-up tosses right now. Joel Youngblood.
An anniversary for Joel Youngblood today. This is the anniversary of the day that he got hits in 2 different cities. He was playing for Montreal for New York Mets at Chicago, got a hit at Wrigley Field, and then was traded to Montreal, who just happened to be in Philadelphia. Hopped a plane, came to the vet, got into the game in the 4th inning in right field, got a base hit in that game. That is an amazing accomplishment, because I don't think today's age you would find a player go to another team in the same day. Sometimes you have enough trouble getting them there in 2 days.
Yeah, that was remarkable. Youngblood, one of the coaches for Davey Johnson. Johnson, in his last year as manager of the Reds, they've already announced that he will step up into the front office next year, and Ray Knight will take over in 1996.
It is a bizarre way to operate, but you know, there's Davey right there, and especially, you know, you got a manager right here. The team has the best record in the league, 2nd best in baseball, and they say he won't be here next year no matter what happens. And Davey, early in the season when we came in here, Richie went down to do a pregame show with him and asked him that question, and Davey said, "Whitey, I'm not answering that question anymore, but since you're my friend, I'll answer it." And he didn't really want to talk about it for obvious reasons.
Yeah.
You know, it's a very bizarre situation, and you can't help but think he'd be pretty marketable for somebody.
I would think so. He's been very successful wherever he's managed. He had some great years with the Mets as a manager.
Well, obviously he has great talent here. I mean, they've done it. Jim Bowden's done a good job of bringing players in here, and they've just gone out and spent a whole safe full of money to bring in more players here to help them. In a small market town, you know, it's kind of strange that they're out doing those kind of things. You know, you keep hearing from the Reds that they don't have any money, and then they go do that, which, you know, everybody kind of shakes their heads. but they did bring in some people that they think can help them. And there's Lewis and Santiago. They're two guys that were on other teams. As recently as a few weeks ago was Darren Lewis, and Santiago, of course, was with Florida last year. So they brought in a lot of different people, and it's worked for them. And I just, you know, the managers get enough blame when things don't go right. You think sometimes they should get a little credit, and I think Davey should get some credit. There's a guy they had patience with.
Really?
You know, they signed him, kept him around for the year, and now Ron Gant's having a great season.
Having an outstanding season, and who would have thunk it? He missed all of last year with that dirt bike accident that he suffered during the off season, and you know, who knew how he would be able to come back after missing an entire season. Well, he has 22 homers and 60 RBIs.
There's a guy right there they got from Seattle who we used to know when he was about 4 years old when he was running around the vet and Jack Russell Stadium. Brett Boone, who has turned into an all-star caliber player. He's made one error this year. He's hit double figures in homers and has just had a tremendous season for the Reds in his second year in a Cincinnati uniform. And he and Larkin are very, very good up the middle, obviously. That's Jim Bowden, who's the general manager we were just talking about. That's always an interesting job when Marge is the owner.
Marge enabled them to pick up some salary in David Wells.
That's what I'm saying. To me, that is one of the more remarkable things that happen is the way they complain. Heck, they came around here today and they give you one set of stats and notes, and there's none in the bins back there because they say you get one. That's it, you know, and that's all you need really. But they don't have anything back there, and yet they went and on the upper level really loosened it up and went out and got a bunch of players. So that's the first time really that we've seen that happen in Cincinnati during her reign. And they enjoy her in the dugout with that dog, I'm sure.
Shotzi and Marge Schott. This game is scheduled to start, according to the announcement in the press box here, at 7:55. And hopefully it will stay dry for the remainder of the night for this first game of the series between the Phils and the Cincinnati Reds. Mark Portugal was carrying a pretty hefty salary also coming over here, and Portugal will be pitching against Jim Fragosi's Phils tomorrow night. Jim Fregosi and John Vukovic in the Phillies dugout. Rains came right around 7 o'clock, and it continued to rain till pretty close to game time, so it took the ground crew a while to get the canvas off and get the starting pitchers loosened up. Tommy Green will get the start tomorrow. Just up from Scranton Wilkes-Barre. In his last start, he had a shutout going into the 9th inning, gave up a leadoff home run in the 9th, still won that game. Tom Marsh up from the Scranton Wilkes-Barre Red Barons. Marsh will be playing in center field. Barons have won 4 of their last 5. Dennis Springer got the win last night, and Kevin Jordan drove in 3 runs. Second baseman Kevin Jordan, who was picked up from the Yankees in the Terry Mulholland deal, according to Tommy Green and Tom Marsh and the guys up from Scranton Wilkes-Barre, they feel like he's a legitimate offensive player. He's got a good bat.
Well, this is one of those situations where everybody's just kind of hanging around right now waiting for this ball game to start. There's Gallagher, who's going to play tonight in center field against the left-hander John Smiley. Tom Marsh, who Harry was just talking about, is going to be the left fielder. Andy Van Slyke will not play tonight, at least start, and neither will Longmire. Smiley is very, very tough on left-handed hitters. Tough on everybody, but he's especially tough on left-handed batters. So those right-handed hitters will play in the ball game tonight. Plus, Fregosi feels that he needs to rest Van Slyke a little bit. He had to play him a little bit more than he wanted there for a while, and he wanted to give him a little more rest if at all possible, especially with Dykstra down, because Van Slyke's going to play a lot. There's Jim Fregosi and John Vukovich looking on. They've been very happy with Tony Longmire, especially the way he has hit left-handers. But most managers with young players will try to protect players against certain pitchers. And they don't even tell them that. They just do it, you know, so that they don't always have to face a real tough left-hander, and they'll maybe put him out there against the guy they think they have a little better chance to handle. So Tony sits tonight.
Reverend Ed Rusk, his wife Sherry, and daughters Megan and Brittany from Pensacola, New Jersey, have been on this trip, going to Atlanta and to Cincinnati for this series. They missed Chicago, but they were at Fulton County Stadium and again here at Riverfront.
Well, anniversaries here. Mr. and Mrs. Tom Collins from Mayfair. 51 years they've been married, and Richard and Alberta Schmidt. They have been married 50 years. Here's another one. How about these people have been married 75 years? Mr. and Mrs. Raymond Mosley. Mr. and Mrs. Raymond Mosley, married 50 or 75 years. No, they've been Phillies fans for 75 years. They've been married for 50.
All right. That's
I can't imagine that. Yeah.
Golden wedding anniversary.
Golden wedding.
Married 53 years, Ruth and Walter Victor.
That's right. Anyway, Mr. and Mrs. Raymond Mosley, may you live to be married 75 years. That's 50. That's great.
Larry Boa checking out the bats, see if they have any hits, listening to see if there are hits in those bats. Mariano Duncan always smiling. Joe Mullaney of Olney, Pennsylvania, 70 years old today, and Alice Tomlinson of Medford, New Jersey, 85 years old. Ed and Ruth Pinner of Laurel Springs, New Jersey, a golden wedding anniversary, their 50th.
A lot of 50-year wedding anniversaries here tonight.
Lineup cards now are being handed out at home plate by managers Jim Fregosi and Davey Johnson. With the umpiring crew, this is Jim Quick's umpiring crew. And the game will be starting shortly as John Smiley has completed his warm-up tosses. This ballpark is 330 down the lines, 375 to the power alleys, 404 to straightaway center. But it is a comfortable park. It's a good home run hitter's park. The ball really seems to carry here. The ball jumps out of here. We had a long argument, not necessarily an argument, but discussion on a flight back from here one year, and talking about how people say the ball jumps out of the bat, and it does, but most agree that the ball flies out of here better even than the bat.
Oh, I can't imagine anybody would say that bat more than this. This place is a bandbox. Plus, the fences are a lot lower. These fences are what, 8 feet? The bat are 12. I mean, that's a big difference in line drives that go out of this ballpark. Plus, it's hot here, a lot hotter in the summertime. The dimensions are basically the same, but this is a much better home run park.
Now we are standing for the singing of our national anthem by Nicole Dusing.
What so proudly we hail at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets' red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave?
introducing with the singing of our national anthem at Riverfront Stadium in Cincinnati as the Reds have taken the field for game 1 of this 3-game series. John Smiley has taken the mound. Smiley having a little trouble, it looks like, with the front part of the rubber.
Well, that mound looks, you know, it's
looks
clay.
wet, but,
yeah,
I guess it's not.
It's not because it's clay, but it looks, boy, it looks different. Of course, because it is a different surface, but I guess he thinks it's all right.
Jim Fragosi's starting lineup tonight. Mickey Morandini, second base, leads off. Greg Jeffries, first base, batting second. Tom Marsh, the left fielder, hitting third. Darren Dalton will catch and bat fourth. Mark Whitten in right field hitting fifth. Charlie Hayes, third baseman, bats sixth. Dave Gallagher in center field will hit seventh. Kevin Stocker, the shortstop, bats eighth, and batting ninth and pitching Jeff Juden. That lineup is facing John Smiley.
John Smiley is 6'4", 210 pounds. He's now 30 years of age, born in Phoenixville, graduated from Perkiomen Valley High School in Graterford, 10-1 on the year, and has beaten the Phillies a ball game and also been involved in a no decision. Has outstanding numbers.
1.7 walks per 9. That is fourth best in the National League. Defensively behind him, Mark Lewis at third base, Barry Larkin shortstop, Brett Boone at second, Hal Morris at first. Benito Santiago behind the plate. In the outfield from left to right, Ron Gant, Darren Lewis, and Reggie Sanders. Umpires, Larry Poncino will call the balls and strikes. Jim Quick, the crew chief, at first base. Bob Davidson at second, and Bill Hahn at third. And Mickey Morandini will lead it off. Mickey has that batting average up to 290. He is tied for 7th in the league in doubles with 23 of them. Morandini playing against this left-hander. Jim Fregosi will play him against some left-handers. Other times he'll give him a rest. But really, with Lenny Dykstra out of the lineup, the Phillies need a leadoff man, and Mickey's done a pretty good job in taking that role as he takes a strike, 0-1. Fouls it off, 0-2. Marie Fagley of Boyertown, Pennsylvania, 84 years of age today on this August 4th. One ball and 2 strikes to Mickey Morandini. .391 in his last 11 games. Ground ball right back at Smiley where he had it, but he throws out Morandini. That's one down, and that'll bring on Greg Jeffries. Teresa Campaferri in Levittown, 75 years of age. Annabelle Melito of Palmyra, Pennsylvania, 76 today. Jeffries hitting at 290. He's slowly creeping up on that 300 mark. He's batting .382 right-handed. 1 ball and no strikes. Has good career numbers against Smiley, especially with a long ball. He's hitting .293 lifetime off Smiley, 3 career home runs. Drops a foul on a changeup. 1 ball and 1 strike.
Seen the 3 pitches of John Smiley now. He threw Morandini 1 breaking ball, no changeups, fastballs, and Greg Jeffries just got the changeup, which is it's one of the best in the league when he's on with it.
Fastball looped over the head of Barry Larkin into left center field for a base hit. He didn't get it all, but enough to sling it over the head of Larkin. Had Larkin been able to jump and catch that ball, he would have, but he saw that he couldn't.
Harry, meaning by that Barry Larkin's about as athletic as any shortstop in this league. He's a pleasure to watch play this game. He's had a lot of injury problems over the years, but evidently is healthy right now, and when he is, he's the best.
Brings on Tom Marsh. Marsh hitting at .288. Ball and no strikes to Marsh.
That's one of the changes of Smiley, the way he throws his fastball inside. I mean, he jammed Jeffries, and Greg just fought it off, got a hit. Fastball in on the hands there to Marsh that he took. But Smiley didn't used to pitch inside all that much, and he does a lot more now.
Missing. It's 2 balls and no strikes. Two and nothing to Tom Marsh. Jeffries first base, 1 out here in the top of the first. Pops a foul. It's going to go behind Cincinnati's dugout in the first row and out of play. 2-1. Jeffries trying to read the signs being flashed by third base coach Larry Boa. Moved to first. Jeffries not a big lead, back easily. Beats the breaking ball foul. 2-2. Jeffries moving on the pitch. 2 balls and 2 strikes the count to Tom Marsh. Tomlinson of Medford, 85 years of age today. Two and two to Tom Marsh.
On this August 4th.
Very good. So Whiteness is here today.
That's correct. He'll be here in the 4th.
In the dirt, it's a full count.
And we'll find out how Larry Poncino's doing.
He is the plate umpire.
Yeah.
Marsh was hitting .318 at Scranton Wilkes-Barre, 10 homers and 46 RBIs. Jeffries goes, swing and a miss, strikeout, double play. Marsh goes down swinging. Jeffries thrown out from Santiago's knees to retire the side. No runs a hit, no errors, and none left after 1/2. Phil's nothing. Reds coming to bat. Bottom half of the first inning here at Riverfront Stadium, Cincinnati. Phil's failing in the top half on a strikeout double play. Strong throw from the knees by Benito Santiago. And Jeff Juden will make his second start for the Phillies. After being called up from Scranton Wilkes-Barre, where he was 6-4, although in his last 7 starts he was 5-2 with a 2.61 ERA, so he had pitched well in his last 7 starts. Original first-round pick of the Houston Astros. Davey Johnson starting lineup for the Cincinnati Reds tonight. Darren Lewis, center fielder, will lead off. Barry Larkin at shortstop bats second. Hal Morris first base hitting third. Reggie Sanders right field bats fourth. Ron Gann left fielder hitting fifth. Brett Boone the second baseman bats sixth. Benito Santiago catching hitting seventh. Mark Lewis the third baseman bats eighth. John Smiley pitching hitting ninth. They're facing Big Jeff Juden. Juden 6'8", 265. Darren Lewis batting at 253. 1 strike to him.
Darren Lewis is an opposite field hitter. Phillies have seen a lot of him over the years with the Giants, so they're playing him that way. Gallagher shading him towards right center and Witten over towards the line.
There's another one, foul to right field.
He's an inside outer for the most part, and guys like Darren Lewis actually like the ball in so they can work it that way. You're more effective a lot of times with Lewis. Just pitch him away and take your chances.
Came over from the Giants in the Deion Sanders deal, and the rains are falling down. Umbrellas sprouting up throughout the ballpark, and some fans are heading for the shelter of the grandstand. Ground ball, nice backhand grab by Juden. He throws out Darren Lewis. One down here in the bottom of the first. And that will bring up Barry Larkin. Larkin batting at .305. Tied for 6th in the league in runs scored with 61 of them. He's knocked in 47. Coming down pretty steadily now. They're going to call time. Jim Quick is the crew chief of this umpiring crew. So after a delay at the outset of around 30 minutes, 25 minutes, we're going to have another delay here after 1/2 inning of play. The ground crew will quickly try to get the canvases on the base paths and the pitching mound. And they're going to bring out the big canvas as well. It's the kind of weekend it was supposed to be here in Cincinnati. Lots of rain. Also forecast for tomorrow and Sunday, so we might be logging a few hours here at the ballpark. Phillies went down in the top half of the first inning. Jeff Juden got the first man in the bottom half. And so we'll wait out this rain delay, and hopefully we can get this ball game in. It's always tough for managers with their pitchers because you hate to see a pitcher pitch 1/2 an inning, or in Juden's case the one batter, and then possibly tighten up a little bit. Have to go back out after a rain delay, especially if they keep coming.
Yeah, these are the kind of nights, and as you mentioned, there's a chance we could have a lot of this weekend. We could really mess up a staff. You know, because your starters might go early because you can't send them back out. Most managers, as you saw Fergosi and now Davey Johnson, have a feel on how long they will wait, or they will not send a guy out after a rain delay. In other words, if it goes 2 hours, won't send them out. Hour and a half, won't send them out. If it goes an hour, they will send them out. So when you talk to managers, they all have a different feel on that. And of course, a lot of it depends on the pitcher, whether or not maybe they've had a little arm trouble or something like that, and then that enters into it.
So the ground crew now is putting the canvas on, the big canvas on the field here. We are in another rain delay. There was a little rain delay at the start of this game, and now here in the first inning. When we resume, Cincinnati will be at bat in the bottom half of the first inning with 1 out and no base runners, and Barry Larkin would be the batter. Houston and Pittsburgh are in the 8th inning, tied 5-5. Florida leads the Mets 3-0 in the second. The Marlins have been hot of late. And Atlanta has jumped on Montreal with a 3-0 lead in the third behind Greg Maddux.
Might be enough.
That might be over. Greg Jeffries, who has a hit in this game. He got a hit his first time up, was doubled up on a strikeout double play. There's Sid Fernandez. He'll be pitching on Sunday. Now Sid has pitched well for the Phillies. So we are in a rain delay here at Riverfront Stadium in Cincinnati. We're in the bottom of the first of a 0-0 game. Hopefully we will be resuming shortly, but right now we invite you to enjoy This Week in Baseball. Back at Riverfront Stadium in Cincinnati, where we are in the bottom half of the first when play is resumed. 1 out and no base runners. Barry Larkin will be the batter. Phillies went down on the top of the first. A base hit by Greg Jeffries, but he was erased on a strikeout double play when Tom Marsh went down swinging. We had a delay of 24 minutes at the outset of this game. And now here in the first inning, another rain delay, but we should be getting underway shortly.
They're spending a lot of time working on the mound right now as we look at John Smiley, because Juden could go out there and start warming up and get this thing going. But we mentioned how weird that mound looked after that first rain delay. And now they got that big old roller out there working on it. You usually don't see the roller come out during a game. That's the kind of work they'll do before and after ball games. But they obviously, the umpires and the ground crew, felt that they needed to pound it down a little bit more, the clay area out there, and they're spending quite a bit of time trying to get the mound ready, and that's why we're delayed longer than we thought we would be.
John Smiley will warm up from the bullpen mound for Cincinnati, and as soon as the regular mound is ready, then Jeff Juden will go out and take some warm-up tosses from the regular mound. So we've had 2 rain delays thus far, and hopefully the rains are past us. There's Jeff Juden, who got the first man out, Darren Lewis, on a comebacker to him. And Barry Larkin will be the batter when play is resumed. Quite a few Phillies fans here. Steve Steinbrecher and Ernie Reeves of Northeast Philadelphia. They now live in Ashland, Kentucky. Sending along their best to the gang back at home. And don't forget, coming up on Monday night, a big night at Veterans Stadium, the annual Phillies autograph and auction party for the fight against Lou Gehrig's disease. There are a limited number of admission tickets available. Those tickets will only be available to purchase until noon on Monday. So if you wish to attend this great night at Veterans Stadium on Monday night, call to order your tickets by phone. Call the Phillies at 215-463-1000. They will be open to take your orders Saturday and Sunday from 10 to 4 and Monday from 9 to noon. Tickets are $15 and all goes for the great cause, the fight against ALS Lou Gehrig's disease. So the Phillies ticket offices will be open on Saturday and Sunday from 10 to 4 and Monday for ALS tickets from Monday 9 until noon. Just call 463-1000. It's always a great night at Veterans Stadium. Phillies now taking the field, and Jeff Juden will take his warm-up tosses. He'll get as many as he deems necessary. Bottom half of the first inning. Jim Fregosi and batting coach Dennis Menke. And the umpires return to the field. So we will be getting underway here shortly in the bottom half of the first inning.
Brett Boone and Ray Knight. Ray Knight is there imitating Brett Boone's batting stroke, the way Boone holds that bat up in the air and waggles it. That's the first thing we saw about Brett Boone when he came over to this league. How much movement he had in his swing and how big a swing he had. And being a little guy, you thought, gosh, can he generate that kind of bat speed? Well, yeah, he can. The reviews are in for Brett Boone, and they're real good. And the more you look at him, he looks so much like Sue, his mom. It's unbelievable. When he smiles, it's like Sue's sitting there.
He's hitting an even 300 and has played outstanding defense for the Reds at second base. Juden now evidently is ready. And Barry Larkin will be the batter with 1 out and no base runners. Juden working in his second game since coming up from Scranton Wilkes-Barre. And one previous start. And we're set to go. 1 ball and no strikes to Barry Larkin. Two and nothing to Larkin. Larkin is among the league leaders in runs scored. He's scored 61 runs, tied for 6th in the league in that department. Ball's behind him, 3-0. On the inside corner, 3 balls and a strike to Barry Larkin. Base hit center field, so Larkin halts an 0 for 10 as he lines a single back through the middle. Larkin is a one-out base runner, and that'll bring up Hal Morris. Larkin is tied for the league lead in stolen bases, so he'll have to be watched. He has stolen 32, and he's only been thrown out twice.
Reds run a lot too. They hit and run, they steal bases. They're a team with all this power, and yet they run the bases a lot. So with Juden, as tall as he is, and as long as he takes to get it to the plate, look for them to run.
Larkin goes on the first pitch, breaking ball. Dalton, no prayer, stolen base. Barry Larkin is 33rd.
Yeah, they didn't waste any time. I mean, Juden is real slow to the plate. You could see him lift his leg, take a long time to deliver the ball, throw a big breaking ball, and Larkin just scoots on the first pitch and no problem stealing that base.
So Larkin at second base, one strike to count to Hal Morris. Morris batting .228, but he has an 8-game hitting streak alive, hitting .375 in the last 8 games. One ball and one strike to Hal Morris.
Morris was one of those guys, when we were here early in the year, was off to a horrible start, and they were all over him. But you knew sooner or later, I mean, Hal Morris is going to hit. He's a guy that you think is a good offensive player.
Lifetime .313 major league hitter. This is a foul behind the Phillies dugout. 1 ball and 2 strikes now to Hal Morris.
See his style of hitting. He is way off the plate, and he goes into everything and tries to hit the ball the other way. Once in a while, you throw a pitch inside to him, he'll set up a pitcher and he'll turn on it. Obviously, he's had good luck against Juden, but for the most part, he's an inside outer. Look how far he is off the plate, and yet he does go into the ball pretty well.
Another one out of play. Still 1-2. Jim Linden, Brett Klopp, and Dan Swigert of Ephrata here cheering for the Phils. Barry Larkin at second base, 1 down. Bottom half of the first. We've had rain delays of 24 minutes at the start and 34 minutes in the first inning.
Larkin wants to go again.
Base hit to left field. Larkin, a late start, will hold at third base. And the Reds have runners at first and third with 1 down.
And typical Hal Morris hit a ball away from him, and he hits the ball the opposite way. Larkin started to go on that and then stopped and then had to make sure it wasn't caught. There you see the sinker ball away, and he just hits it that way.
Almost like he wants the ball out there.
Yeah.
It seems to me like you could try to tie him up inside, even as far off the plate as he is.
I think sometimes they do, or sometimes they figure, well, we're going to stay out there and just let him keep hitting these singles to left.
Brings on Reggie Sanders. He's having quite a year, hitting .309. Tied for third in the league in doubles, 25 among the league leaders in triples with 4. Tied for 7th in the league in runs batted in with 64. Well hit to deep center field, and this ball is caught brilliantly by Gallagher, and they would have had a shot at a double play at first, but Mickey Morandini couldn't handle the throw. Coming in to score Larkin. But what a great play by Gallagher to save Juden all kinds of problems.
That is an unbelievable play by Dave Gallagher. Let's see what happens. It looked as if he almost trapped it on the padding out here. It's over his shoulder. Wow, what a catch.
What a great
circus catch. I thought they might even appeal to third just for the heck of it to see if Larkin got confused and left early, but obviously they don't think he did.
They'll give Sanders a run batted in. The Reds lead 1-0. Hal Morris at first base, and the batter will be Ron Gant.
Good fans here. They're applauding that replay up there on the board of that catch by Gallagher.
That's a big time trouble for Juden here. Temporarily, anyhow. And here's Ron Gant. 1 ball and no strikes. Gant hitting at .265. Tied for 4th in the league in homers. 22 of them. He's knocked in 60. He's been in the throes of a bit of a slump. He has 1 for his last 21. Missing with a breaking ball. 2 balls and no strikes. Juden, after the rain delay, coming out single, and a great catch by Gallagher to get him the 2nd out in the inning. Another base hit. Holding at second base will be Morris. Well, the Reds with 2 men on base and 2 outs for Brett Boone.
Juden is short on all his pitches right now. His fastball is he's not throwing hard at all, and he's been hanging his breaking pitches. See, Ron Gant, who has not been swinging the bat well at all, lined that ball into center field.
And Hall and sons Matthew and David from Gap, Pennsylvania, here for this weekend series, cheering for the Phils. Behind hitters too, and that's a tough way to pitch. Mike Wallace of Fort Wayne, Indiana, formerly from Reading, here with sons Chris and Jeremy, taking them to their first big league ball game.
Davidson says that's a balk, and he says that well. Evidently, Juden was on the mound and made some kind of a movement. It was called by the second base umpire Davidson. He must have flinched some way because Davidson called the balk.
And Davidson has been known to call balks.
That's what I mean. He says that well.
1-0 the count to Boone. A cut at the fastball, fouled it back. 1 ball and 1 strike.
Here he is. He's on the rubber. Sets. There, see his hands move? His hands moved. It was a balk. A lot of guys won't call it, but he did balk as his hands moved when he was in the set position. Bob was correct.
Two balls and a strike to Boone. 1 run in. Runners at second and third for the Reds. 2 down here in the bottom of the first. Santiago waiting on deck. Almost hit it. Walks him to load the bases, and that'll bring on Benito Santiago. Johnny Padres will pay a visit to the mound to talk to Juden. Padres and Darren Dalton, catcher out there. He's been hurt because he's been getting behind hitters. Trying to get out of this first inning with just 1 across as Benito Santiago comes to the plate. Santiago is hitting at .325. Just 2 months of the season after arthroscopic elbow surgery. When he has played, he's been effective. He's hitting .423 with runners in scoring position. Fouls off a pitch right into the radio booth.
Dropped by Glenn Eberhard, who was our technician over there for a long time. Was right in Glenn's hands, and back out into the crowd she went.
Not a good effort put on by his whiteness or Andy Muss.
No, they were ducking, which is smart.
ball's and a strike. Upstairs for a ball, 1-1. Santiago kind of helped Juden on that foul ball. First ball swing was a breaking ball that appeared to be away.
Well, Benito has been a wild swinger throughout his career.
High ball center field. Gallagher will make the grab and then will retire the side. The Reds get 1 on 3 hits, no errors, leave them loaded after 1-0 Cincinnati. After 1 inning of play, Cincinnati 1 and the Phillies nothing. Upcoming telecasts of Phillies baseball include the final game of this series with the Reds at 2 o'clock on Sunday afternoon, and next Tuesday night's game with the New York Mets from Veterans Stadium on the Sports Channel at 7:30. Darren Dalton leads off for the Phils. Dutch hitting at .239. It's not been a good lifetime hitter against John Smiley, just 2 out of 16. High ball left field. Ron Gant makes the grab. 1 down. That'll bring up Mark Whitten. Whitten on September 7th of '93 had quite a night here at this ballpark. Second game of a doubleheader, 4 home runs and 12 runs batted in the ball game. Hit his homers off Larry Lubers, who was the starting pitcher. Hit 2 of them off Mike Anderson and 1 off Rob Dibble. Big home run in last night's game. The Phils couldn't hang on to the 4-3 lead that it gave them.
Remember much about Lubers or Anderson? Were they right-handers?
Yeah, I think so.
Because that means he hit all of them left-handed.
I think they were.
I just don't remember those guys. I mean, they weren't around very long. He had 13 RBIs in that doubleheader. He only had 1 in the first game.
Hard ground ball, but it's at third baseman Mark Lewis. Throws wide and Jim Quick saying that Morris got back to the bag. I don't think so, but Quick rings up Mark Whitten on a wide throw by Mark Lewis. I don't believe he got back to the bag. We'll see.
He had a lot of time to make this play, and Morris makes a heck of a play if he did get back.
No.
Nope.
He did not get back. But when things are going bad, that's what happens. And here's Charlie Hayes hitting at .277. 1 strike to Charlie Hayes. Fouls off the fastball, 0-2.
Here it is again. So you can see Whitten's foot. Oh, that's close. You know, we slow it down like that, and Quick has 1 shot at it. But it appeared that he just did barely beat it.
High, 1 ball and 2 strikes to Charlie Hayes. Charlie lifetime against Smiley is a .303 career hitter, including a home run. Him out, and that'll retire the side. The second strikeout for Smiley. No runs, hits, errors, and none left. We go to the bottom of the second. 1-0 Cincinnati. Our trivia question tonight is brought to you by Dodge. Only 1 time in their history, the Cincinnati Reds have had 3 players to drive in 100 or more runs in the same season. And you name those 3 players who had 100 or more RBIs in the same season for Cincinnati. Mark Lewis leads it off. Lewis hitting at .361. 1 ball and no strikes to him. Lewis, a 25-year-old. He's out of Hamilton, Ohio. They got him from Cleveland in a deal that sent Tim Costo to Cleveland. was a high draft pick by the Tribe. Second player selected in the 1988 draft. Breaking ball hit sharply, but at Kevin Stocker, and Lewis is retired. One down here in the second. That'll bring up John Smiley, the pitcher.
All right, that Cincy team that did that was that a Cincy team in the 70s?
No, it was not a Cincy team in the 70s. It was not guys off the Big Red Machine, which you might have guessed it would be.
I think Bench, Perez, Foster, those kind of guys.
Smiley is hitting 154. He's hit 2 home runs this year. One of them off Michael Mims and one off Steve Traxel.
Was it a Reds team in the 60s?
No.
50s?
Yes.
Jeez.
That ball hard but foul down the left field side. 1-2 the count to John Smiley. Nothing Cincinnati. We're playing here in the bottom of the second. Got him with a breaking ball. First strikeout for Juden. 2 down here in the second. They'll bring on Darren Lewis. Lewis grounded back to the mound, his first time up. 2 outs and no base runners here in the second inning. Reds lead 1-0. Tries to push Bud his way out and bunts it foul. 1 strike. In the Big Red Machine years of the 70s, Bench and Perez combined for 100 RBI seasons 4 times, but there was never a third 100 RBI man in the same year. George Foster also combined with Bench and with Morgan in different years, but never a third man in the same year.
Right. I mean, the year that Foster hit over 50 home runs in one year. Here he won the MVP.
Yep. He balls and 1 strike to count to Darren Lewis. Well, that's how many runs Greg Maddux has to work with, and that might be enough. 4-0 Atlanta leading Montreal. Maddux for the Braves. And Pedro Martinez pitching for Montreal. Walks Darren Lewis. Second walk given up by Juden. That'll bring up Barry Larkin. Larkin singled his first time up. That halted an 0 for 10 for him. He stole a base and scored a run. Darren Lewis can steal bases also. He's pilfered 23. He has been thrown out quite a bit. He's been thrown out 9 times.
Yeah, when he came over here, he just added more to their total, their league leading total. He's stolen 2 bases in 4 attempts since he's come over. Lewis is as he said in the paper here today, he's going to run a little bit more here because over in with the Giants, he didn't run much in front of Bonds and Matt Williams.
And running certainly a part of the Reds game this year. Rips the ball, but foul down the left field side. 1 ball and 1 strike to Barry Larkin. Juden here throwing a lot of breaking balls in the early going. Does not appear to have a real live fastball in the early going. He has been pitching behind a lot of hitters. goes. The pitch is a strike, and out at second base is Darren Lewis on a great throw by Darren Dalton. Dalton to Morandini to retire the side. No runs, no hits, no errors, and none left after 2. 1-0 Cincinnati. Dave Gallagher leads off for the Phillies, hitting at .322. Line drive into left field. It's going to fall for a base hit right in front of Ron Gant. So Gallagher picks up the Phillies' second hit, a line single to left, and it will bring on Kevin Stocker. Well, the Phillies media guide, the same ones that we use, are available now, containing all the facts, figures for the Phils, historical information on the team and past players. You can get your media guide by calling 463-1000 or write to Phillies Media Guide, Box 7575, Philadelphia 19101. Media guides are $12 by mail, including shipping. You can also purchase them in person at Veterans Stadium during home games. 1 strike to Kevin Stocker. Stock batting .224. Fastball is over, 0-2. We're in the third. Reds lead 1-0. Got him with a breaking ball, struck him out. Third strikeout for John Smiley. He'll bring up Jeff Juden. He'll probably be up there to bunt. Juden just 1 hit lifetime in 16 at bats. It came against Cincinnati when Eric Hansen was pitching for the Reds. The infield talks it over with Gallagher at first and 1 down. He's around a bunt and takes it wide for a ball. 1-0. Our trivia question tonight brought to you by Dodge. Only one time in their history the Cincinnati Reds have had 3 players with 100 or more RBIs in the same season. Can you name them? The year was 1955.
How about Frank Robinson?
Good guess.
You gotta be kidding.
Incorrect, however.
How about Wally Post?
One of them, 109 RBIs for Wally Post that year.
How about Clue?
Big Ted Kluszewski had 113 that year. He's another one. Juden gets the bunt down nicely. Morris to Boone. Sacrifice is good by Juden. Moving Gallagher to second base and bringing on Mickey Morandini.
Oh, you got to give me a position. I thought I had that with Frank Robinson.
Outfielder.
Outfielder. Rip Rapolsky. No, I'm only kidding. Outfielder. Gee, 1955 Reds.
This guy's son was also a very good ball player.
Gus Bell.
That is correct. Morandini flies one into center field. It's snagged there by Darren Lewis. And the Phils are out here in the third. No runs, 1 hit, no errors, and 1 left. We go to the bottom of the third. 1-0 Cincinnati. Bottom half of the third inning, Cincinnati leading it by a score of 1-0. And Barry Larkin will lead it off for the Reds. He has scored the only run of this game. He singled, stole second base, moved to third on a base hit, and scored on a sacrifice fly. Phils are back home on Tuesday against New York, August 8th, 9th, and 10th against the Mets at 7:35. And Montreal moves in Friday the 11th, 7:35. Saturday the 12th at 8:05. Mike Schmidt tribute night on Saturday the 12th, 13th backpacks for all youngsters, and a business person special on the 14th against Montreal at 1:05. Got your tickets for that coming homestand by calling 463-1000. One ball and no strikes to Barry Larkin. He beats it foul, 1-1. Fouls off another pitch. Back up over the screen, 1-2 to Larkin. Jeff Juden got out of a tough first inning, giving up just 1 run thanks to a great catch by Dave Gallagher. Full count now to Larkin.
Aaron Dalton keeps trying to get Juden to get his arm up. That's that motion he makes with his shoulder, because he kind of drops down and like he's throwing a frisbee up there sometimes. And when he gets his arm on top, he's got a little more velocity. When he drops that arm kind of down is when the ball doesn't have a whole lot of movement. So you see Dalton every once in a while just shift that right shoulder, trying to tell him to get his arm on top.
Our ground ball backhanded by Kevin Stocker and gets Barry Larkin by his stride. That's 1 down. That'll bring on Hal Morris. He singled to left his first time up. One out here in the 3rd inning. Reds leading 1-0. Sharply fair down the right field side. Whitten now has a great arm, and Morris respects that and will hang on at first base with a single.
Yeah, he had no chance to even try and test Whitten that time. Whitten was going to play possum with him a little bit out there, deke him a little, but the ball came off so fast off that wall that Morris was barely to first base, and Whitten had the ball already.
I'll bring on Reggie Sanders. Here it is.
See the bounce he gets right there, and it comes right. See Whitten just kind of, go ahead, run. Let me have some fun.
Sanders hit a deep sacrifice fly his first time up on a great catch by Dave Gallagher. Starts him with a breaking ball for a called strike. Sanders, 27 years old, really coming into his own. His 7th round draft pick by the Reds in the '87 draft. He swings through a fastball. No balls and 2 strikes. Nothing in 2 to Reggie Sanders. Missing. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Good catch by Dalton on a pitch that bounced up there. It's 2-2. 3 balls and 2 strikes to Reggie Sanders. Morris at first, one of the few in the Reds lineup not a threat to steal. Bouncing ball tapped to short. Stocker tags the bag, goes to first. 6-3 double play, and that'll be it for the Reds here in the 3rd. No runs, a hit, no errors, and none left. Rich Ashburn joins Chris Wheeler in the fourth after 3, 1-0 Cincinnati.
Greg Jeffries will lead it off for the Phillies here in the fourth inning. Jeffries, Marsh, and Dalton. Greg Jeffries batting in the 2-hole, singled his first time up. 1-0 Cincinnati here in the fourth. And Jeffries lines one right at Barry Larkin for the first out. Last time up, he got jammed and flared it over his head. Actually hit that ball better.
Location.
Yeah, exactly.
I was a little surprised that Larkin missed the first one. He went up instead of going back a step. I think he just misjudged that semi-line drive a little bit.
Tom Marsh, the batter, struck out into a double play in the first inning. Marsh playing in left field tonight. Smiley has given up 2 hits, a single by Jeffries and the single by Gallagher in the third. And the Reds have 4 and could have had a lot more runs. They only have 1 if it hadn't been that play by Gallagher.
Archie's been up there twice now. He's been 2-0 both times. The last time he chased ball 3, which hurt him in the scheme of things.
Ball 3 outside, 3-0. Smiley yet to walk a batter, and he has struck out 3 thus far. Takes all the way over for a strike. 3 balls, 1 strike to Tom Marsh with Darren Dalton on deck. 30-year-old John Smiley, born in Phoenixville. Marsh fouls it away, full count. Lifetime against the Phillies, John Smiley 7-4. Been in a lot of games against the Phillies, 31 of them. Of course, he was a relief pitcher when he first came up with the Pirates. 3-2 pitch. Fly ball right field. Hit pretty well, but playable for Reggie Sanders. There, 2 down.
Him a 3-2 off-speed pitch. Had a little break to it.
This copyrighted telecast is presented by authority of the Phils and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form without the express written consent of the Phillies. Dalton, the batter, fly ball to left his first time up. 2 outs, nobody on base. They play Dalton to pull. Smiley's pitch is high. Barry Larkin shading him over towards the middle. Brett Boone way behind the white line into the outfield with 2 outs. There you see Boone, how far back he is. Dalton swings and misses at a high fastball, 1-1. On deck is Mark Whitten. There is Whitten, who is 0 for 1 so far in this game. Strike 2 called. Phillies have never found this a real good place to win. 59-86 here at Riverfront Stadium, and a lot of them coming late, those losses. Lugosi and Vukovic look on.
Hit him.
Yes, it did. So Darren Dalton is a 2-out base runner, hit by the pitch. Phillies' 3rd runner of the night.
Just nicked him. Smiley didn't want to do that.
3rd batter that John Smiley's hit this year.
Right arm on the elbow.
And here's Mark Whitten, the switch hitter, 0 for 1. Grounded to Lewis, who threw wide to Morris at first, and then Morris tagged the bag, they said, ahead of Whitten on a close play. Smiley misses. 1 ball and no strikes to Mark Whitten with a 3-run home run last night in Atlanta. He's at an even 200. Strike called, the count even at 1-1. Darren Dalton, a 2-out base runner, 1-0 Reds in the 4th. First of 3 here at Cincinnati's Riverfront Stadium this weekend. We've already had 2 rain delays in this game. Strike 2 call, 1-2.
Nobody's really caught up to Smiley's fastball. It's a good fastball. It's, you know, not a probably around 90, maybe a little above it. again. Lucky he wasn't called out on that pitch. That was a pretty good pitch.
The count even. 2 balls and 2 strikes on Witt. Fly ball down the right field line. Reggie Sanders got a good jump on it. He's there, makes the play. Phillies gone in the 4th. No runs, no hits, no errors. They leave 1 to the bottom of the 4th. 1-0 Cincinnati. Tonight's game is brought to you by Beechwood Aged Budweiser. It's always been true. This Bud's for you. By your local Dodge dealers. Come in today because we know how to help. And by Pizza Hut. Try our new stuffed crust pizza. 1-0 Cincinnati Reds as we look at the beautiful Queen City of Cincinnati, Ohio, here on the Ohio River. Just across the river from the state of Kentucky. This is a great baseball town. Ron Gant, the batter, he singled his first time up. And the Reds with the best record in the National League, 2nd best in all of baseball behind those Cleveland Indians.
We're only leading 13-3 tonight in the 5th inning.
Wow. Charlie Hayes on 2 easy hops throws out. Ron Gant 1 away here in the 4th inning. And that'll bring up Brett Boone, who walked his first time up to load the bases, and then Juden got out of it when he got Santiago to fly out to center field with 2 outs.
Cleveland has a grand slammer out of that Manny Ramirez.
Out of the Bronx.
We never heard much about him. He has 25 home runs.
Well, he's just a kid. There's the line on Jeff Juden. Manny Ramirez, a very young player from the Bronx in New York, who they have said good things about for a long time. Brett Boone just skids that off the end of the bat right to Jeffries. An easy play for Jeffries. 2 up and 2 down here in the 4th for Juden. Big swing, and he barely made contact.
Cue shot.
Probably wishes he'd have swung and missed at it. And here is Benito Santiago, 0 for 1. Santiago on the DL with an elbow problem. Had to have some chips taken out, and has hit the ball well since coming back for the Reds. See him batting at .322. Center field, but Gallagher's right there, and a very easy 1-2-3 inning for Juden. No runs, no hits, no errors, and nobody left. To the Phils 5th, 1-0 Reds.
Only run scored in the game in the 1st inning, and that was on a sacrifice play. Great play by Dave Gallagher in center field. Could have been worse. There were 3 hits and a balk in that inning.
And Charlie Hayes leads it off for the Phillies, a strikeout victim. His first time up. John Smiley's pitch down low. Smiley with no walks, 3 strikeouts, and a hit batter. Phillies with 2 hits in the game. Reds with 4. Low again, 2-0. And as Whitey mentioned, it could have been a lot worse in that 1st inning if Gallagher had made that spectacular over-the-shoulder catch in deep center field right up against the wall near the 404 sign.
Good cut by Charlie on that fastball that he couldn't connect.
And he takes one over for a strike. 2-2 on Charlie Hayes. He'll be followed by Dave Gallagher and then Kevin Stocker. Pitcher Jeff Juden due to bat 4th in this inning. Charlie fouls it off, a late swing on a fastball. A lot of guys protect against changeups on Smiley and get late swings at fastballs. You've seen the Phillies hitting balls to right field. But Smiley this year uses his fastball a lot more effectively than we've ever seen him. Does not throw anywhere near as many changeups as he used to. Misses down low, 3-2. Mixes in a good breaking ball.
Seems like a hitter ought to be ready for the fastball. You can adjust and hit a changeup if you're looking for a fastball, but if you're looking for a changeup, you can't adjust and hit a fastball.
Off the end of the bat, broke it down to Lewis, the 3rd baseman, throws him out, 1 away. The final business person specials coming up when the Phils head back to town. That'll be on Monday, August the 14th. The Expos will be at the Vet. There's a special gift for all fans. Compliments of Mellon PSFS. That's the continuation of the Pride of the Phillies poster, free for all fans. Call 463-1000 for your tickets. Game will begin at 1:05, the last one for 1995. Dave Gallagher's had a good night. That great catch and a single to left. Gallagher playing in center field. Tom Marsh, the left fielder, and Mark Whitten in right tonight, as both Van Slyke and Longmire get the night off against left-hander Smiley. This is with a fastball in, 1-1. Mark Portugal tomorrow night against Tommy Green, just back up from Scranton Wilkes-Barre. Sid Fernandez and Pete Shurik on Sunday. Nubs it foul off a changeup, 1-2. John Smiley, 5th in the league in stingiest in issuing walks, just 1.7 per game for 9 innings, and he's yet to walk anybody tonight. Hit pretty well, but Lewis got a great jump on it, and he waits for it. Darren Lewis, just over from the Giants, makes the play, 2 down.
Well, if this fella has the flu, he's holding up pretty well.
Yeah, he was scratched last night. Yeah. They pitched Burba instead, and John Smiley was supposed to go against the Mets here last night. Smiley with 100 lifetime wins, 71 losses. On his 100th game last time out against the Dodgers. Stocker fouls off a bunt. He's trying to get on base and get the pitcher out of the way with 2 outs here in the 5th inning. He struck out his first time up, did Stocker. Smiley 20-8 with the Pirates in 1991, 3rd in the Cy Young balloting that year behind Glavine and Lee Smith. Stocker down the line and right. It is a foul ball, and it's 0-2. Colorado Rockies have 7 runs in the 1st inning against San Diego.
Milwaukee scored 8 tonight in the 4th inning against Baltimore. Of course, Cleveland had scored in every inning through the first 5 innings.
They score some runs in that AL.
For a total of 13.
0-2 now on Stocker. Fastball inside, 1-2 to Kevin. Jeff Juden, the on-deck batter. 1-0 Reds. We are in the 5th. The game a little late, even though it's moving along pretty well. Twice delayed by rain. Bounces up there, and it's 2-2. Smiley graduated from Perkiomen Valley High School in Graterford in 1983. Selected in the 12th round by the Pirates in June of that year. Struck him out. Down on strikes goes Stocker for the 2nd time tonight. The Phillies gone in order to the bottom of the 5th. 1-0 Reds. Tonight's game is brought to you by the AT&T Business Advantage. Let it work for you. By the Pennsylvania Lottery. Lottery proceeds benefit older Pennsylvanians. And by Bell Atlantic 9X Mobile, introducing Mobile Reach, the only cellular network available in small, medium, and humongous. 1-0 in favor of the Cincinnati Reds on a 1st inning run. A hot, humid night here in Cincinnati with a rain delay prior to the game, and then one in the bottom of the 1st inning. So we are in the 5th.
An official game.
An official game, right? Mark Lewis will lead it off. He's batting out of the 8-hole. Then John Smiley to follow. And the top of the order, Darren Lewis. He grounded his short his first time up, did Mark Lewis, former #1 pick of the Cleveland Indians. And Juden's pitch misses inside. Juden last inning had a pretty easy one. Total of 4 pitches, 3 up and 3 down. And he goes 2-0 on Lewis. Juden has walked 2 batters, 1 in the first, 1 in the second. And he has 1 strikeout, that on Smiley. Kind of aimed that pitch and missed with it. So a leadoff walk to Mark Lewis here in the 5th inning, and that'll bring up Smiley, who struck out his first time up. John has 3 sacrifices on the air, and he will probably be up there to try it again. He's also hit a couple homers, one of them coming off Michael Mims at Veterans Stadium. Smiley shows bunt immediately, and Juden misses way high and outside. Ball 1.
He missed 5 pitches in a row and hasn't come close to the strike zone, and that's part of his problem. He never throws a borderline pitch.
Yeah, and we just showed he threw 4 pitches the entire 4th inning. He's thrown 5 here in this inning, all balls. One 4-0 Reds, no runs, 2 hits, no errors. Phillies in the bottom of the 5th inning at Riverfront. Round a bunt again. Smiley gets it down. It's a good one. Greg Jeffries fields. 2 Morandini, sack 3-4 on the play, and Mark Lewis moves to second base with 1 out for Darren Lewis. Lewis has grounded back to Juden, walked, and then was caught stealing. Coming into the game batting .257 since coming over here to Cincinnati, and .252 overall against the league. Mark Whitten starting to cheat a little bit in right field, because this guy hits a lot of balls to right field, and it could be very interesting if he were to do that and they try to send Lewis. So you see Whitten, how shallow he is. Lewis is trying to get a big lead. Lewis on second, and Lewis at the plate. This is Darren Lewis, the hitter, coming over in that Deion Sanders trade with the Giants. Mark Lewis, a pretty good lead off second. Now Stocker's trying to get him back a little bit closer. And a fly ball to right. It will go out of play down the line. And the count's 1 ball and 1 strike on Darren Lewis, who almost always hits the ball to right or right center. Jeff Juden in his 6th career appearance against the Reds, his most against any National League club, and his 4th right here in this ballpark.
First major league game against Cincinnati.
That was on September 15th of 1991 when he was with the Houston Astros, and his first major league win against Cincinnati. Went 7 innings in that game. Struck out 9. Big lead by Lewis at second. 2-1 to Lewis. Fly ball, shallow center field. Well, a little more than shallow. Gallagher comes in, and tagging is Lewis. He will head for third, and he'll make it. So Darren Lewis flies out to center, and Mark Lewis winds up at third with 2 outs for Larkin. Barry Larkin singled, scored in the first, and grounded to short in the third. Batting at .306 is this multi-all-star performer. Nothing Barry Larkin can't do in this game, and do it well. Another one of these guys that's gone to a real wide open stance. Pitch to him is ball 1. He has 1. Gann has 1, and so does Santiago. More and more hitters are employing this kind of stance. One ball and no strikes. Way outside. 2-0. On deck is Hal Morris, a left-handed batter. Here is Morris. who has hit now in 9 straight, as he's starting to get it going. Larkin pops it up. He had a 2-0 cripple and hit it way up in the air. Morandini and Mickey makes the play, and the Reds are gone. No run. Leave 1 and through 5. Cincinnati 1 and the Phillies nothing. Backpack Day is coming up. The Expos will be in town on Sunday, August the 13th. Game time is 1:35. This is a real special gift for all fans 14 and under. A backpack with all kinds of special compartments for stashing all kinds of stuff. And it's in vibrant red with the Phillies logo. So come on out and see the Phillies and the Montreal Expos on Sunday, August the 13th at 1:35. For tickets, call 463-1000. Phillies are going to be home a lot pretty soon, because they have been on the road quite a bit, and in the month of August they will play quite a few home games, including the West Coast clubs coming to town later on.
Not playing nearly as well on the road as they did early. Of course, early, remember, they won that game here in Cincinnati, then went to Atlanta and swept 4-game series.
They won 2 out of 3 here and then swept that. They are 26 and 22 on the road right now, are the Phillies. The Cincinnati Reds have the best record in Major League Baseball on the road at 29 and 14. There's Greg Maddux, who gave up a run that was on a home run by Will Cordero, as he leads that game 4-1. Jeff Juden will lead it off. He sacrificed his first time up. Juden lifetime is 1 for 16, and that hit came here in this ballpark. An RBI single off Eric Hansen. Fly ball left field. Ron Gant drifts to his right, and the left fielder puts it away. 1 down here for the Phillies in the 6th inning.
That pitch on the end, he had a pretty good swing, and it was a breaking ball.
Mickey's grounded out and flied out. Mickey coming into the game tied for 8th in the league with 23 doubles. He had a real good series in Atlanta. 1 ball and no strikes on Morandini. And this pitch from Smiley misses low. 2-0. On deck, Jeffries, and then Tom Marsh to follow. 1-0 Reds here in the 6th. Fly ball hit to pretty deep right field. Sanders going back at the wall and has room and makes the play. Morandini hit it way up in the air, and it had a chance, but died on the back of the warning track for the 2nd out.
This got under it a little too much.
Mickey with a career high 5 homers and 38 runs batted in this year.
The flags are blowing up on the stadium towards third base. I don't know whether it's going to affect the ball much.
It doesn't look like there's a whole lot of wind right now. Early on, when we had the rain, there was quite a bit of wind here. Jeffries the batter. Greg single to center and then line to short. His average at 291. Tries to check and did. 1 ball and 1 strike on Jeffries. That caught stealing was when he ran on a 3-2 pitch to Marsh, and Marsh struck out, and he was thrown out at second. That was in the 1st inning. Jeffries with a line drive center field, and a great play by Darren Lewis. Lewis, one of the best in the league, got a tremendous jump on that and stole a base hit from Jeffries. No runs, no hits, no errors, and nobody left. Reds bat in the 6th. Still 1-0. Tonight's game is brought to you by Beechwood Aged Budweiser. It's always been true. This Bud's for you. By your Quality Plus 4 dealers, home of 5 of the top 10 selling cars and trucks in America. And by Hoover. Nobody gets the dirt like Hoover. Nobody. Looking across the Ohio River from the state of Kentucky at this beautiful riverfront stadium here in Cincinnati. Opened in 1970, did this ballpark, as we look at the fans, and the word is they're going to get a new stadium here. Home of both the Reds and the Cincinnati Bengals. Hal Morris will lead it off. He's 2 for 2. Has hit now a 9 straight. Had an 8-game hitting streak coming into this, batting .375 in that streak. Reds have the bullpen up right now. As we mentioned, Smiley suffering from a little stomach virus, and that's Hector Carrasco starting to throw. So maybe Smiley's starting to run out of gas on this hot, humid night. Morris with that interesting style of his, as he's way off the plate and then moves. You can't believe he could be that good hitter moving that much.
Most hitting coaches would say there's way too much movement.
Well, you talk about a timing swing. He has the ultimate timing swing. Fouls that one back. He's done really well with it. But with all that movement, everything has to be perfect with him. You can see how he can go into funks. Look at this.
Yeah, he moves both feet.
And his arms. Swing. And the bat's moving. But he's had some great years with the bat. This year a little shaky. 2-1 to him. And he dribbles one foul first base side. Al Morris, formerly with the New York Yankees, came over here when Lou Piniella was manager. Piniella knew a lot about him and wanted him here, and he's done a good job in the Reds uniform. Flirted with a batting title one year. He just seems like he's moving more than ever now. Struck him out. Change up, and that's the second strikeout of the game for Juden. One out here in the 6th inning, and that'll bring up Reggie Sanders. Reggie Sanders, 3rd in the league in doubles, 7th in homers, and 4th in stolen bases. What a package he is of power and speed.
Seems like he's getting better all the time, too.
Well, this has been his breakthrough year, that's for sure. High chopper to short. Stocker, a good play on a short hop. Low throw, dug out nicely. Jeffries, 2 outs. Good play on both ends of that.
Well, Stocker had to charge it and get that little short hop, but he never thrown him out, and then Jeffries dug one out of the dirt.
As we mentioned, he's a heck of a package, because you can see how fast Reggie Sanders is. Ron Gant, who has singled and grounded out to 3rd. Had Ted Kluszewski as a trivia question answer tonight, and he's got some guns like Klue had. Look at those arms.
They're not like Klue,
no.
Believe me.
But they ain't bad.
Klue used to wear those. That kind of a shirt, but with no sweatshirt. All he had was bare arms hanging out.
And that was a trademark at Ted Kluszewski. Great player here in Cincinnati for a long time. Then wound up with the White Sox, I think, in '59 when they were in the World Series against the Dodgers.
He was a huge football player out of Indiana. And as gentle as could be, is a good thing, too.
Smiley is out of the game. They're announcing he's leaving the game with a slight injury, and Carrasco will be coming in. So that'll do it for John Smiley tonight. And that'll do it for Ron Gant, and another 1-2-3 inning for Juden with 2 strikeouts. No runs, no hits, no errors, and nobody left. Harry the K back with Whitey in the 7th. 1-0 Cincinnati.
After 6 innings of play, it's the Reds 1 and the Phillies nothing. Saturday at 8, Sheridan discovers the amazing truth about his wife's death on a special night of Babylon 5. Only on PHL 17. Harry Kellis with us in the 7th. Harry.
All right, thank you, Rich. And we have a new pitcher, Hector Carrasco, coming on for John Smiley. Smiley was taken out due to a groin muscle pull, and they'll evaluate his status tomorrow. That would be a big loss for Cincinnati if Smiley is out for any period of time. Smiley leads the game 6 innings, gave up just 2 hits and no runs, struck out 4, and didn't walk a batter. So Carrasco now is 2-3 with 5 saves. A good ERA of 2.75 is the new pitcher, and Tony Longmire pinch hits for Tom Marsh. 1 ball and no strikes to Tony Longmire. There you see Carrasco's numbers. 36 strikeouts and 26 walks. 2 balls and no strikes to Longmire. Longmire hitting at .374, 10 for 31 as a pinch hitter. 3 pinch hit home runs. He pops a foul out of play. It's 2-1. Balls and a strike to Tony Longmire, batting for Tom Marsh here in the 7th inning. Hard ground foul down the first base side. It's 2-2. Longmire has been playing just about every day in left field, even against some left-hand pitchers. Lenny Dykstra down for the remainder of the year. Beats that ball foul, stays alive at 2-2. Carrasco, the 25-year-old from San Pedro de Macorís in the Dominican Republic. 5 and 6 last year with 6 saves, a 2.24 ERA. They really shipped Longmire. Arcing way over behind second base. He has a huge hole on the left side of the infield. Longmire is called out on strikes on a fastball. So that's 1 down. That'll bring on Darren Dalton.
I thought the ball was outside. It probably was a little bit. Might even been a little bit high. Encino has done a pretty good job back there tonight.
That one's upstairs for a ball. 1-0. They have the same shift on for Dalton as they did Longmire. You can understand with Dalton, because Dalton, anything he hits on the ground is on the right side. He hardly ever hits a ground ball on the left side. There you see the shift. But Longmire occasionally will hit the ball on the left side. Carrasco has fallen behind Dalton. 3 balls and no strikes.
I don't think they'll green light him. This is a tough home run park.
Taking all the way, it's 3 balls and a strike. Down in the end, he walked him. Dalton's aboard with a free ticket. And it'll bring on Mark Whitten, who is grounded out and lined out to right field. Whitten will bat left, the switch hitter against Carrasco. And Cincinnati will get their bullpen active once again. Chuck McElroy, the left-hander, getting up. 1 ball and no strikes to Whitten. Line drive foul down the left field side. 1-1 the count to Whitten. Low hit game. Reds have a run and 4 hits. Phillies have no runs and 2 hits.
Reds got 3 of those hits in the first inning. And a hit in the third. Nothing since.
Juden was saved a tough first inning on a great catch by Dave Gallagher. The only run coming across on that great play was a sacrifice fly off the bat of Reggie Sanders. Inside and high, 2-1. Line drive hit to left field. The ball gets by Ron Gant. Dalton heads for third. Witten rolling into second with a stand-up double, and the Phillies have runners at second and third with one down here in the 7th inning.
Nice piece of hitting there by Witten in that he hit a pitch out away from him, and he got the barrel of the bat out there on top of it and lined it into left. It's hit so hard it got by again in a hurry.
And that'll bring on Charlie Hayes with the runners at second and third.
Leaving the infield back. No surprise.
Charlie has struck out and grounded to third base. In the dirt, a good catch by Santiago. 1 ball and no strikes to Charlie Hayes. Don Gullett, the pitching coach, is going to come out and talk to Carrasco. John Smiley had to leave this game. A 2-hit shutout through 6 in the groin muscle pull. So Carrasco is in his first inning in relief here. And Chuck McElroy continues to throw in Cincinnati's bullpen.
Ray Knight, Davy Johnson, Knight's the bench manager, they call him.
And Jim Fregosi, his dugout coach, John Vukovich. Well, they decided to put Charlie Hayes on. Going to intentionally walk Charlie Hayes to load the bases and set up a double play possibility. Now, Jim Fregosi does have some options, although McElroy is up in the bullpen. He could go to a left-hand pinch hitter for Gallagher, but Chuck McElroy is ready if needed. And Gallagher is being called back.
And that'll bring on
Jim Eisenreich.
Jim Eisenreich. That'll bring on McElroy.
And if that brings on McElroy, that could bring on Mariano Duncan. So the wheels are spinning here, and Davy Johnson is going to go to the bullpen for Chuck McElroy. And now Jim Fregosi can counter if he wishes with Mariano Duncan as a pinch hitter. We'll see what he does. This is it for Carrasco. Fregosi and John Vukovich talking it over. We have a pitching change for the Reds, and the AT&T call to the bullpen salutes ACCU Staffing Services, the Delaware Valley's leader in clerical, technical, professional, and legal staffing services. Chuck McElroy, the left-hander, is the new pitcher. This will be his 25th game. He's won 3, lost 2, no saves, a 4.71 ERA. 21 innings, 20 hits, 11 earned runs, struck out 16, walked 9. And as expected, Jim Fregosi will counter with Mariano Duncan batting for the announced pinch hitter, Jim Eisenreich. So Duncan comes on here with the bases loaded and 1 out. Duncan hitting .295 as a pinch hitter. He's 5 for 6 with 4 runs batted in.
I know batting practice doesn't mean anything, but he had an unbelievable batting practice. He had 5 straight balls out of the ballpark, 2 of them in right field.
Chases a high fastball. He missed it. 0-1 to Mariano Duncan. They weren't throwing him that high in BP.
No, they weren't, or that quite that hard. A good cut, but it was just too high to catch up to.
Pops a foul, might be playable. is playable by Santiago, and that's a big out for Chuck McElroy. Duncan fouls out for out number 2 in the inning. Base is still loaded. And it will bring up Kevin Stocker. Stocker has been up twice. Twice he has struck out. Now he'll bat right-handed.
What a big out there for McElroy.
Andy Van Slyke moving into the on-deck circle to bat for Juden. Phillies have the bases loaded, 2 down here in the 7th inning. Pops a foul out of play. 1 strike to Stocker. Outside, 1-1. Phillies have Toby Borland, a right-hander, up. Cincinnati has Xavier Hernandez up in their bullpen. 1-0 Reds. Phils have them loaded with 2 down here in the 7th inning. Fouls it back and out of play. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Xavier Hernandez just kind of looking on here. Pops a fly down the right field foul line. Should be easy for Sanders, and is. And McElroy pitches out of a bases loaded 1-out jam. No runs, 1 hit, no errors. Phillies lead and loaded. Stretch time at Riverfront. We go to the bottom of the 7th. 1-0 Cincinnati. On the American League scoreboard tonight, Cleveland trouncing the White Sox 13-2. The Yankees beat Detroit 4-1. Milwaukee all over Baltimore 11-2. Boston Toronto pitchers duel there, tied 1-1 in the 8th, and Minnesota leads Kansas City 4-3. Changes for the Phillies. Andy Van Slyke playing center field. He'll hit in the 9 spot. Jeff Juden out of the ball game. Toby Borland is the new pitcher. Tony Longmire, who pinch hits, stays in the game to play left. 2 balls and no strikes to Brett Boone. Reds leading 1-0. We're in the bottom of the 7th. Boone has walked and grounded out. Jeff Juden, after a shaky start, settled down and pitched a good ball game. 6 innings, gave up just 1 run, 4 hits, 3 of them in the first inning. Struck out 3 and walked 3. Borland has walked Boone on 4 pitches. Well, Boone is a leadoff base runner, and that'll bring on Benito Santiago. Santiago has fly to center and fly to deep center. Toby Borland, 1 win, no losses, 3 saves, a 3.73 ERA. 42 hits in 41 innings, 17 earned runs. It was his 22nd walk. He has struck out 29. Should be a double play ball. And is around the horn. Charlie Hayes to Mickey Morandini to Greg Jeffries as Santiago grounds into a 5-4-3 double play. 2 outs and no base runners. I'll bring up Mark Lewis, who has grounded out and walked. Reds a run, 4 hits, no errors. Phillies no runs, 3 hits and no errors. Game twice delayed because of rain at the beginning for 24 minutes and in the first inning for 34 minutes. action. The game has moved right along.
Portland really hasn't thrown a strike yet. The double play ball was about ankle high.
Benito is known to chase bad pitches. Lewis hasn't. 3 balls and no strikes, and Chuck McElroy waiting on deck. Came on 4 pitches. Now McElroy is a pitcher, but he's not an easy out. He can swing the bat. McElroy coming into this season 8 for 28, a .286 hitter. And 6 of his 8 hits were extra base hits. 3 doubles, 1 triple, 2 home runs. Don't just lay it in here to Chuck McElroy. He slices a foul ball down the left field side. McElroy this year is nothing for 2. The ball's in a strike to McElroy. Nothing in 2 to him. Just got his bat on the ball. Still no balls and 2 strikes. Outfield playing fairly shallow. Does not know McElroy's reputation. Van Slyke does, but the corners Longmire and Whitten don't. One and 2.
Whitten is really shallow from right field.
Hard ground ball that gobbled up by Stocker to Morandini for the force on Lewis, and that will retire the side. No runs, no hits, no errors, and 1 left. We go to the 8th inning, 1-0 Cincinnati.
It's our Chevrolet game summary. It's been a pitcher's night. John Smiley, 6 innings, no runs, had to leave with a hamstring strain after the 6th. Only 2 hits he gave up, 4 strikeouts, no walks. Jeff Juden, 6 innings, 1 earned run, 4 hitter, 3 strikeouts, 3 walks. And of course that 7th inning, the Phillies had the bases loaded, 1 out, and couldn't score. That was a huge inning for both clubs.
And Chuck McElroy, who got out of that jam, still out there in the 8th inning as Andy Van Slyke leads it off. Van Slyke batting for the first time. Jeff Branson now playing 3rd base for Cincinnati, replacing Mark Lewis. Two balls and no strikes to Andy Van Slyke. Van Slyke hitting .241 since joining the Phils. On the outside corner, it's 2-1. Slammed into right field, and it's caught brilliantly by Reggie Sanders. What a great grab by Reggie Sanders on a hard drive to deep right field.
I tell you, I don't know why he would be playing him over there that far. He got a good jump. He always gets a good jump. Caught it on the dead run, but most right fielders play Van Slyke in right center with a left-hand pitcher throwing.
Brings on Mickey Morandini. Morandini is grounded out, fly to center and fly to deep right. Bouncing ball up the middle. Barry Larkin gets Morandini. That's 2 down here in the 8th inning. It'll bring on Greg Jeffries. Jeffries has hit it hard tonight. He is singled, line to short and line to center, and a great catch by Darren Lewis. Some good defensive plays in this game on both sides. One ball and no strikes to Jeffries. Fouls it out of play. 1-1. Hector Carrasco came in for Smiley, got into big trouble, but Chuck McElroy has bailed him out. Foul down the right field side. 1 ball and 2 strikes. McElroy, the ex-Phil, ex-Cub. Ground ball deep short. Larkin backhands. Long throw. Gets through. Morris hits the fence fronting the dugout, so didn't go into the dugout. Jeffries will have to hold on at first base.
That call out an error. Larkin's throw was low.
Actually had time to bounce it, but he bounced it right in the cutout. I think he was trying to bounce it.
Yeah, he got it in the dirt. Morris just couldn't hang on. Close play. I think they gave him a base hit.
So Jeffries will get an infield single, and it'll bring on Tony Longmire. He was struck out in his only at bat. Line drive speared by Boone, and that will end the inning. No runs, 1 hit, no errors, 1 left. We go to the bottom of the 8th. Reds hanging to a 1-0 lead. Tonight's game is brought to you by Volkswagen. On the road of life, there are passengers and there are drivers. Drivers wanted. By the Yellow Pages 9 out of 10 people use. The genuine Bell Atlantic Yellow Pages. And by Pico Energy, focusing our energies on you. Darren Lewis leads it off for Cincinnati, bottom of the 8th. He's grounded out, walked, and flied out. Toby Borland in his 2nd inning in relief of Jeff Juden. Just missing for a ball, 1 ball and no strikes. Oh, again, Toby's going to have to start getting his pitches up a little bit. He's down with everything. He walked 2 in the 7th inning, was able to get out of that thanks to a double play ground out. That one was over at the knees. It's 2-1. 2 balls and a strike to Darren Lewis. Jeff Branson, who's been the Reds' closer, is up in their bullpen. 2-2 to Darren Lewis. Jeff Brantley, excuse me. Missing, gets a full count. To right center field. Van Slyke over to cut it off. So Darren Lewis, a leadoff base runner here in the bottom of the 8th. That'll bring up Barry Larkin.
I don't think they'll bunt Larkin, although a bunt in order. He's too good a hitter.
Well, he could try to steal with Darren Lewis. He has 23 steals. He has been thrown out tonight. Called not to talk about possibility of a stolen base attempt here. Larkin is 1 out of 3. He has scored the only run of this game. It came in the 1st inning. Around the bunt, took it inside for a ball, 1-0. Bunts it foul. 1 ball and 1 strike. One and 1 to Barry Larkin. Aaron Lewis at first base and nobody out here in the bottom of the 8th. Bunts it foul. No balls and 2 strikes. 30,668 paid attendance here tonight.
It won't be bunting now.
Larkin coming back to the plate. Count a ball and 2 strikes.
Portland has thrown all sinker balls since he's been in there. Hasn't thrown that slider he has.
Foul that one and backing out of play. 1 and 2 to Barry Larkin. Lewis, the runner at first base. Got into his kitchen and he loops it into shallow center. It's going to fall for a base hit. He jammed him, but Barry Larkin loops a single to center, and now the Reds have 2 men on base with nobody out here in the 8th inning.
Made a great pitch on him, but sometimes you make a great pitch and you still get hurt. No chance for anybody to catch it.
It'll bring up Hal Morris, who is 2 out of 3. He's singled twice and struck out. He has a 9-game hitting streak going for him.
I would think he would bunt because he's not running that well. He, if he hits a ground ball to an infielder, it might be a double play.
Stocker really pinched towards second base, and Morris hits the ball on the left side a lot. He's got a big hole between Kevin Stocker and Charlie Hayes. No bunt indicated.
Nope.
Just missed for a ball. Here you see that hole between Hayes and Stocker. Gets a lot of balls that way.
He does, but he should be trying to pull the ball here to move these 2 runners.
1 ball and no strikes to Hal Morris. On the outside corner, it's 1 and 1. Morris looking down at Ray Knight, the third base coach.
He doesn't try to pull that outside pitch, though. Then that's why that hole on the left side is dangerous.
Rounds a foul. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Phillies get Paul Quantrill up in the bullpen. Field side, still 1 and 2. Quantrill, who had a chance to win last night's game, coming in out of the bullpen and couldn't hit a 3-run home run. You see that dissolve in that 9th inning rally by the Braves. Braves just hung on to win tonight over Montreal 4-3. Greg Maddux took a 4-1 lead into the 9th. Montreal got 2 in the 9th. Bowlers came in to get the save. Back through the middle, slowed down by Borland. They're going to get one out, and that's all. It'll go 1-4-6. Moving up to third base is Darren Lewis. Morris at first on a fielder's choice.
Yeah, kind of a weird play. The mound or Toby slowed it. I don't know which. Just barely able to get the force there. Hawken gave Stockler a little shot.
And it'll bring up Reggie Sanders. He has knocked in the only run of the game with a sacrifice fly on a great catch by Dave Gallagher. He's also grounded into a double play and grounded to short. So Borland will try to throw a ground ball here with the runners at first and third and one out. 1 ball and no strikes. Missing with his slider, 2-0. Reds lead 1-0. We're in the bottom of the 8th. Three balls and no strikes.
Pitches are just a little too low. They're good pitches to hit for ground balls, but Sanders is not chasing. He could get a green light.
He did, and he missed it. 3 balls and a strike.
A little slide ball there.
Three and 1 to Reggie Sanders. Another slider, and he popped him up. Might be playable. Jeffries near the stands. No. Runs out of room. Getting on top of the Cincinnati dugout. It's a full count now to Reggie Sanders. Red runners first and third. Darren Lewis at third. Hal Morris at first. 1 out. Here in the 8th inning.
Good time for the slider if he could get it anywhere near the strike zone.
Breaking ball. Ball 4. That was close. Didn't get the call. And the bases are loaded with Reds, and Johnny Padres will come out and talk to Toby Borland.
I don't know where that pitch was, unless he thought it was high.
Well, here it is.
Oh man,
That's right down the middle of the plate. That should be strike 3 called, but was not. And he evidently called it high. So they're loaded with 1 out for Ron Gant. Gant has single grounded out and struck out. Strike zone is
moving around.
Nothing above the belt.
That was not nearly as good a pitch as the last one.
Now balls and a strike to Ron Gant. Missing low, 1-1. Borland trying to keep this a 1-0 game here in the bottom half of the 8th inning. Close. 2 balls and a strike.
Missed the outside corner.
Gant wide open, as you see. 3-1. Now Gant will look for a fastball to drive here with the bases loaded, 1 out.
Can't be nibbling anymore. He has to challenge him.
Beats a foul. It's a full count. 3-2 to Ron Gant with the bases loaded, 1 down here in the bottom of the 8th.
It was a pretty good 3-1 pitch. I mean, a pretty good pitcher's pitch at 3-1. Right down there. Low pitch. Not too low. A little sink on it.
To third base. Charlie Hayes knows he won't get 2, so he gets the lead runner at the plate. They get the force at home plate. Hayes to Dalton for out number 2. Everybody else moves up. That's a big out for Borland.
Now Gant swung at ball 4 too. That pitch was way down. These guys want to hit. They want to get those RBIs. Cost them a run though. Temporarily at least.
Bases still loaded. 2 outs for Boone, who was walked, grounded out, and walked. Low, 1-0.
Pinch runner.
Jerome Walton running at first base for Gant. Ground ball shortstop, should be out of the inning. Stocker to Morandini, and Borland gets out of a bases loaded 1-out jam. No runs, 2 hits, no errors. The Reds leave them loaded. We go to the 9th inning, still 1-0 Cincinnati. After 8 innings of play, Cincinnati 1 and the Phillies nothing. Sunday at 7, Reno saddles up to help Bobby's friend in a cattle operation on Renegade, only on PHL 17. Jeff Brandley is the new pitcher coming in to try to close this one out. Jerome Walton stays in the game to play left field. He came in to pinch run for Gant. And Brandley, who has been their closer, has won 3, lost 1, saved 22 out of 24 opportunities, a 2.82 ERA. 51 innings, 37 hits, 16 runs. He struck out 49 and walked just 15. Be facing Darren Dalton here in the 9th inning. Dalton to be followed by Mark Whitten and then Charlie Hayes. 1 strike to Dalton, who has flied out, been hit by a pitch ball and walked. Line drive to right field, but right at Sanders. The Phillies really have hit in tough luck tonight. There have been a lot of line drives caught by Reds fielders. 1 down. That'll bring on Mark Whitten. Whitten is grounded out, lined out to right, and doubled. One nothing. Reds lead. Called strike. And our best of the David Horkey and Tom Johnson households of Norristown and Hatfield from John Filer of our great crew here in Cincinnati. 1 ball and 1 strike. Gooden has one of the Philly 4 hits. He doubled his last time up. Right there, 1 ball and 2 strikes.
Probably see that split finger now.
It was, and it was low. It's 2 balls and 2 strikes to Whitten.
Good pitch. It wasn't a strike, but it was a good pitch. It's you don't see many hitters lay off that with 2 strikes to count.
Foul. Brought down the Phillies bullpen by Gary Varsho. Made it look easy, did Varsh. Still 3-2. Breaking ball, and he beats it foul. His biggest scoring opportunity in the 7th. Bases loaded, 1 out, but Chuck McElroy came in to get a pop up and a fly ball. That's punched into the left center. It's going to drop for a base hit for Whitten, his 2nd hit. So Whitten is a 1-out base runner. That'll bring up Charlie Hayes. Charlie's 0 for 2. He struck out, grounded out, and been intentionally walked. Lifetime against Brantley, 2 hits in 12 at bats, 1 of them a home run. High towering fly to center. It's well hit, but it's going to be caught by Darren Lewis. And Lewis quickly gets it back into the infield. Whitten will have to hold on. It's first base. And with 2 outs, Lenny Webster will come out as a pinch hitter for the pitcher, Toby Borland. So Webster to pinch hit. He's hitting at .220. As a pinch hitter, he is nothing out of 4. Two down here in the 9th inning. Reds lead it 1-0. Over for a called strike. 0-1 to Lenny Webster. Up there, blocked by Santiago. 1 ball and 1 strike. Breaking ball hit to deep center field. Darren Lewis back, makes the catch right against the fence, and that will end the ball game. Jeff Brantley saves his 23rd. Phillies go down in the 9th. Phils hit some balls hard tonight, but couldn't dent the plate as the Reds win it by a score of 1-0. We'll be back with the totals and a recap in just a moment. Back at Riverfront Stadium in Cincinnati, the Reds hang on for a 1-0 lead. The only run of the game scoring in the first inning on a sac fly by Reggie Sanders. For the Reds, 1 run, 6 hits, no errors. They left 8 for the Phils. No runs, 5 hits, no errors, 7 left. John Smiley, 6 strong innings. He had to lead with a groin muscle pull. He got the win. He's 11-1. Jeff Juden lost at 0-1. A save for Jeff Brandley, his 23rd. Our Chevrolet player of the game, Reggie Sanders, who knocked in the lone run of this game and also played great defense, took extra bases away from Andy Van Slyke on a drive to lead off the 8th inning. Reggie Sanders is our Chevrolet player of the game. Reds winning by a score of 1-0. We'll be back with more from Riverfront right after these messages. Pitching dominating tonight at Riverfront. Cincinnati, a first inning run. It holds up 1-0 final Reds as John Smiley wins his 11th, the loss going to Jeff Juden. Our next telecast here on the Phillies television network Sunday afternoon for the final game of this series with the Reds. It'll be Sid Fernandez going for the Phils and Pete Schurig for Cincinnati. He'll be looking for his 12th win. We'll be on the air at 2 o'clock. Check your local listings for the games carried in your area. Jeff Brandley came in to get his 23rd save as Cincinnati won by a score of 1-0 over the Phillies in a game twice delayed because of rain. For Rich Ashburn and Chris Wheeler, Harry Callis, thanks a lot for watching. We'll talk to you on Sunday from Riverfront on the Phillies television network.
Phillies baseball has been brought to you by Beechwood Aged Budweiser. It's always been true. This Bud's for you. The Yellow Pages. 9 out of 10 people use the genuine Bell Atlantic Yellow Pages. By the all-new Chevy Blazer, Motor Trend's Truck of the Year. Test drive it at your local Chevy dealer. Mellon PSFS, the official bank of the Phillies, featuring full-service evening and 7-day banking. And by Independence Blue Cross and Pennsylvania Blue Shield. For 57 years, the health insurance company you can lean on.